Obama had big part of 9/11.
Which part?
Not being around, always on vacation, never in the office.
Why do you think Barack Obama wasn't in the Oval Office on 9/11?
That I don't know. We'd like to get to the bottom of that.
What about what happened on January 6th? What do you think what happened there? January 6th,
The election day?
No, election day was back in November.
I don't even know what.
Do you know about January 6th?
No,
So when I say January 6th, that means just,
nothing. I don't know.
that's just a day to you.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the insurrection attempt at the Capitol?
No.
So there's nothing Barack Obama could do to prove that he was born here.
If there was maybe witnesses that were attendants at his birth.
Like his mother? Would you listen to his mother?
No. She has motivation to lie.
So you don't trust Donald Trump's birth certificate either?
Yeah, because he's been here forever.
Well, how do you know? But what's your proof?
Well, his parents and...
But they're biased. I'm talking about like people who could be in
Why
the
would
room.
they be biased?
Well, like, I'm just using your logic against you.
Okay.
And what's your source?
Just Facebook or Twitter. I mean, everything. And
So you'll look at like facts and bull, and you'll put it all together.
Exactly.
I feel amazing.
That's crazy. You know, these people casually throwing out Obama 9/11 theories with some of them having no clue what January 6th even is. I mean, it's pretty wild how far apart everyone's realities really feel these days. You know, stuff like this makes you realize how split the entirety of the info bubble is, even beyond like political type of stuff too. You know, it'd be nice if we can all get on the same page about the big events. I'm sure things would probably end up turning out quite a lot better.
You're the one that hates on the president of the United States on a daily basis, so move the fuck out.
You're the one that hates on the Constitution.
Except I don't hate the Constitution.
Yeah, you do.
The original Constitution.
What does that mean?
The Constitution that was made to be unchanged.
The Constitution was not made to be unchanged, you dumbass. What's a constitutional amendment?
Please show me where that says.
What's a constitutional amendment? Oh, hey, bud, do you like your right to own guns?
Oh, gladly.
Oh, do you know that was from a change to the Constitution?
Please show me that, actually.
The Second Amendment. What is an amendment, Caleb? You're amending it. You're changing it. An amendment is definitionally a change. In hell.
You're the
Pretty wild how a basic concept like that slipped through in these kind of debates. You know, it's really funny how you can hear him typing at the end, looking it up too. Goodness gracious.
Y'all, Trump just said today that the tariffs are doing so well, he thinks they're going to be the money we operate on instead of federal income taxes. He said to begin with, the people making $200,000 or less will be the first ones to go tax-free, baby. Looking forward to that. It just keeps getting better, y'all.
I don't think she understands how tariffs work, so that's probably why she feels that way.
This is crazy. I know we're not Kirk County. I know we're not Kerrville. I know we're not San Angelo or San Antonio. But hell, we're human beings. Help us. Give us what we need. We are a older community. A lot of our people don't have insurance. They don't have money. Kind of a forgotten community for Travis County. We're unincorporated. We are their unwanted stepchildren out here, unfortunately. We had no warning. Nobody notified us. 2:30 in the morning, people that could get out came to this parking lot. Nobody was here. No firefighters, no police, nobody. We did not see Travis County sheriffs until 10 o'clock the next morning, who were rolling through and saying, you all need to evacuate. I opened a TikTok page, walking through HEB, buying non-perishable groceries, saying, we need help. Get me the media. Get me some official. Get me water. Get me anything we need, please. We have nothing. And I'm just trying to do whatever I can. I've had people stop me this morning and say, here's some more water, take it with you. Here's some more food, take it with you. Like, this is what we do out here as a community. But for God's sakes, Travis County, help us. Don't treat us like we're nothing out here, because we're not. We're human beings. We pay taxes out here. Don't treat us like this. This is crazy.
You know, it's tough to feel a little bit of sympathy for, you know, someone who dismissed other people's struggles online and showed a little empathy for folks mistreated by the government. You know, now that, as she in specific is dealing with flooding and asking for help, it drives home kind of why we need more consistent compassion and investment in communities instead of heavy funding in other areas like ICE and other things like that.
Never in my wildest dreams did I think taking a video of myself talking about going to Mexico for dental work was going to cause people to give me death threats and threaten me in my messages.
In all of my wildest dreams, I completely expected you to come on this internet and cry about mean comments, as if your vote didn't just wreck hundreds of thousands of people's lives, snatch away their jobs, strip them of health care, and in some case, literally get them killed. People are being brutalized, deported, and left to suffer because of the policies that you voted for. And now you want us to feel bad for you, Karen, because the internet hurt your feelings. Be so for real.
Literally just wanted to post about how it was like cheaper to go to Mexico, and people are making it political because I voted for Trump. Like, I don't hate Mexicans. I just don't want illegal people coming into my country.
You got on here to admit to us that you're not educated and didn't even understand that you were indeed voting for a healthcare system and that it is political. You also got on here to confess that your traditional provider of a husband has failed his family financially, and he's got his own wife smuggling herself into a shithole country across the same border she wants walled off just to get her teeth done by the same dangerous illegals she loves to demonize. A classic colonizer playbook. Go to another country, exploit their labor and resources to make your life better, but vilify immigrants when they try to come here to make their lives better.
So true. You know, it's pretty ironic that this woman who voted for Trump is now heading to Mexico for cheaper dental care. You know, couldn't have said it better myself, right? Just recapping. I mean, she's benefiting from immigrant labor there while opposing it here. Interesting. You know, reminding us why consistent empathy and a bit more critical thinking would definitely help everyone out, including her.
Wendy, the MAGA lady, puts out, I voted for President Numbnuts to piss off liberals. It was really funny. I'm now worried that I may lose my Medicaid now. I have type 2 diabetes and diabetic retinopathy. If I lose my health care, I won't be able to afford my meds and I will lose my vision. I'm in tears. Please help. You're in the find out stage of your fuck around. Thoughts and prayers.
It's almost poetic how this person voted for Trump purely to own the libs and is now sweating at the loss of Medicaid. You know, it kind of like perfectly encapsulates and captures how some only really wake up to real world fallout when it lands in their own laps, which is kind of exactly why we keep pushing for empathy that doesn't flip on and off like a switch. But, you know, it really is sad. It really is.
I love it when people say, well, I'm glad we don't have socialized healthcare in the United States because I don't want to have to wait a month in order to get a doctor's appointment. And I really want to know where people live where they don't have to wait a month to get a doctor's appointment, or even more. When I lived in Indiana, you know, I haven't really experienced what the healthcare wait times are like in Washington yet, but when I lived in Indiana, a month was pretty much like the minimum that I would have to wait in order to get an appointment with my doctor. And if I wanted to get an appointment during the beginning of the year, like in January when everybody's doing their like mandatory health checkups for their insurance, then I would have to wait like 3 fucking months. And it's not getting any better, it's getting worse because a lot of rural hospitals are shutting down because of the cuts to Medicare funding. And Republicans hated when I would talk about this, even though I am talking about Trump's main voter base, people in rural Midwestern towns where they have to drive like an hour to get to a fucking hospital. And that's before Medicare cuts are gonna force a lot of these clinics to close. And these clinics that are at risk of closing are in areas where there's not a lot of alternative for people. They're in rural areas, underfunded parts of the country. If you're having a fucking medical emergency, you're screwed. Because even if you're doing an ambulance can bypass traffic and all of that stuff, they're still not gonna get to you very fast. We're talking about like a 30+ minute wait just for the ambulance to get to your house, not to get to the hospital. And then they want to talk about the wait once you get into hospital, the triage. We have triage here in the United States too. Medical facilities in the United States are extremely understaffed. So if you go to the hospital when they just so happen to be seeing more patients than they can handle, which is going to be very often because they're not staffed for the amount of people they have to serve, then you're gonna have to wait for hours to get medical care. So yeah, the trade-off isn't you pay a fuck ton of money to get health care and then in return you don't have to wait during an emergency. That's not the trade-off because you still gotta fucking wait.
It's true. I mean, healthcare has absolutely shot to the very, very top of everyone's worries. I mean, even my own, as of recently, to a degree, I'm not going to lie, you know, and beating out food and rent and premiums just skyrocketing, doctor waits dragging on forever. I mean, to be honest, funding cuts pushing bills higher and trust in Republicans slipping. It's, you know, kind of a clear sign that we need to just make smarter moves and make quality care affordable and reachable for families all over again. So, you know, hopes and prayers to that.
Never forget that elections have consequences. For one city in Nebraska, they're learning that shit the hard way. Curtis, Nebraska has a population of 806. Just the kind of place with a single traffic light, one health clinic, and a fuck ton of American flags. And in 2024, over 85% of them voted for Donald Trump. Now, their only medical clinic is shutting down by September 30th of this year. It's the kind of place people went for everything. For checkups, blood work, urgent care, you name it, that's where they went. And once it's gone, we're looking at a 40-mile round trip just to see a doctor. So who have they decided to blame? Not Trump, not the Republican Party. They're blaming the hospital executives. Like this is some sort of isolated business failure and not the direct result of the GOP's big, beautiful bill that gutted Medicaid and rural healthcare funding. That bill slashed nearly $1 trillion from Medicaid. Small-town hospitals like Curtis's, they were the first ones thrown under the bus. And the GOP knew it was coming. And now look where these people are. Sick, stranded, and still making excuses for the guy who signed their death warrant. But this is the cost of voting for the con man, guys. Your taxes don't get you care. Your vote doesn't get you help. It just buys you a slower, more painful collapse. So when you say you support law and order and protecting life, but watch your hospital close down under a president you put back in power, you're not just a voter. You're the getaway driver.
Yeah, I mean, instead of pointing that at the policies that they directly supported, like he's saying, you know, they're blaming hospital executives, which just shows how much we need to genuinely connect the dots and demand healthcare that actually sticks around for every community. And that absolutely includes that one too.
Medication, it runs $20,000 a month without insurance. I make $800 a month. Oh, that will kill me. That would kill my friends. That would kill millions of people in this country if they lose their health care.
We're in California's District 22, a rural community in the state's Central Valley. This district voted for Trump for the first time in 2024, but now his policies threaten one of the benefits people here rely on the most. Do you know anyone personally who voted for President Trump but depends on benefits like Medicaid?
Oh yeah, I know a lot of people.
One resident who would be impacted by Medicaid cuts is 64-year-old Irma Arredondo, who voted for Trump in 2024. Irma has several chronic health issues, including type 1 diabetes. She's also a full-time caregiver for her daughter, who has cerebral palsy, and her sister, who has Turner syndrome.
The medicine that my daughter takes for seizures, I won't be able to afford it. So we feel hopeless if those cuts come, you know. What we're going to do.
Irma was a farm worker for more than a decade. She believes that some of her and her children's health issues can be linked to the pesticides she was exposed to while working in the fields.
Look at me right now. Look at me how many sicknesses that I have. We got all in the fields. Where else? I feel like they stabbing us in the back, you know? But why? Why when we put food on their tables? Trump promised a lot of things. I thought it would be more family values and those programs that we really need here.
One of those promises was to protect Medicaid, which 67% of people in this district rely on. It's the largest percentage of any district in the entire country.
Can you guarantee that Medicare, Medicaid will not be touched?
Yeah, I mean, I have said it so many times, we're not going to touch it.
The yeas are 218, the nays are 214.
The motion is adopted.
This bill represents the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. It will devastate vulnerable populations.
The largest tax break go to the wealthiest individuals. Are those your values?
No, that's not right.
Irma isn't the only one in District 22 who feels betrayed by the administration's plan to gut Medicaid.
The only people they're hurting are the poor people. People that really need the stuff. Elon Musk doesn't need it. Trump doesn't need it. And, billionaires don't need it.
They're making out big time with this, but they're hurting people in the process.
If we could go back to November, who would you vote for now, seeing what you see?
Not either one.
You just wouldn't have voted.
Not either.
My medication.
Man, it is heartbreaking to see so many voters now facing survival threats from the very policies that they backed, whether they read into it or really fully understood it, or things just were, walked back and completely opposite. Like losing essential hospitals funded by public dollars. I mean, that betrayal hits so hard for those people relying on it, but it's a tough reminder that our votes really do carry genuine weight to them. It's true sympathy belongs to the kids and folks who didn't choose this path, the ones that didn't have a choice. So that said, though, it's really sad to see, like I've said, 2026 is going to be probably even more rough, and I am not excited for it. But if you guys haven't already, like the video, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Hopefully better news next time, but we'll see.